Hey y'all, it's Miss Katie from Heritage Ways. Well, I welcome you here today, and we want to share with you 2 meals that a new cook can make. Now, this is part of our 2-in-1 New Cooks series or playlist. And we started that, honestly, really to help our older children who are going out on their own and then they're marrying, so just to kind of give them some ideas. But as I was thinking the other day, last night actually, I was thinking that just because a cook is new, like she or he has their own home, doesn't mean they don't know how to cook. Maybe they just need tips on frugal meals or fast meals or what have you. So I have pulled together the ingredients for 2 different meals that you can have, just 1 or 2 of you or company or what have you. Join us as Little Miss Homemaker and I share these 2 meals that you can put together as a new cook. Thank you for joining Miss Katie and
Little Miss Homemaker
in our kitchen. So just a couple of housekeeping notes. Remember why we have the echo, because we've packed up and getting ready for our
move.
Yes, our Heritage Homestead journey, the portion where we move from this house. Also, the humming in the background you'll hear is our oven that is turned on for our first meal that we're going to make for you today. Okay, today the first meal we want to make for the new cook is meant to be economical and convenient. You can alter this a little bit depending on your skill and knowledge and taste. All right, very easy. And at the end of the video, I'm going to break down per person how much each meal costs. You can also adjust your amounts per how many people you want to feed. I am wanting to have the 2 adults and the 3 little children tonight, and I want to have plenty of leftovers. So first of all, show them the chicken that we have. This is just, it's nothing special. It's not organic. I bought the chicken that a new cook might be able to afford, and you do the best you can with what you got. Boneless, skinless chicken breast cutlets. That just means they're thinner than a chicken breast. We have, on the chicken cutlets, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 chicken cutlets, and all we did is open the bag and put them in here. Those are big enough, you could probably cut them in half, short ways. So you could probably cut them that way if you wanted smaller portions. That'd be a good idea. These are still frozen, and the package does say they'll cook frozen, and that's what we're going to do. You can also use fresh. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands because why am I going to wash my hands?
Because you've touched raw chicken.
I've touched raw chicken. So I'm going to wash my hands, and I want you to just pour the sauce. What do we have here?
It's barbecue sauce.
Just a basic barbecue sauce, whatever your favorite is. I want you to squirt the whole thing on the chicken breast. Don't squirt me. Squirt the whole thing while I'm washing my hands. Getting there. Come over here before you run out. Now what we can do is we can take this little plastic piece off. We can put a little bit of water in there and shake it up and get the rest of the sauce out. So we'll get a knife to do that. Okay, I took the plastic piece off. I put some water in there. I just don't like to waste what's in the bottom of the bottle. I just have a hard time with that. Put my finger on the top, shake it. Let's see if we can get some more out of it. Concentrate on the areas that don't have any. So this is a whole bottle.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, and we use this for this meal. This will be used as gravy for the potatoes. Come over here too. There's that, and you're just going to cover it. Okay, we've sealed it. Show them what we mean when we say we've sealed the foil on there. Okay, mash it.
We've mashed it,
mashed it in
and
there.
kind of folded it up.
Okay, so we want to do this 350 for 30 minutes if they're fresh, 375 for 20 to 30 minutes if they're frozen. I say it's probably going to take the whole 30 minutes, And this is just to seal it in. It keeps it tender. This is one of my favorite things my mother-in-law has always made. It's very simple, but it's delicious. So that's that. We're going to put it in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes. So can you type in 375 on our oven, please? Then we're going to talk about the side dishes, the rest of the meal for this first part of our 2-in-1 New Cook series. So we'll put that in a minute when it beats. What we've done, we've drained 2 of these size cans of Fiesta style corn. In another video, we will tag up here, but we actually show you how to do corn and add your own peppers and seasoning. But for this meal, we bought 2 of those. You only need 2 if you're feeding the number of people that I'm feeding. This container says it feeds about 3 people. So if that gives you an idea. There's our buzzer. We'll put it in a minute, okay? Then we've got some green peas. You can get whatever peas you like. Frankly, you can use whatever vegetables you want. But this is what I chose. Now, this Le Sueur brand is a little more expensive, but it's been my favorite. It's like a comfort food from my childhood because my grandmother Woo Woo would make Le Sueur peas. And Mama she didn't buy them very often because they're a little more expensive than your regular peas. But whenever I want to treat myself, I will buy Le Sueur peas, especially if we're putting them in the little well and mashed potatoes. Okay, and then we opened and drained 2 cans, but I did add a little more water back into our pot when we're cooking our vegetables, because I don't want it to burn, of course. Why did I do that? I try to drain off the liquid that they had. It's got salt and preservatives and what have you, and I'll add my own plain water. All right, so can you put half of that butter in the corn and half in the peas? For our salad portion of the meal, we've opened a bag of angel hair coleslaw. You can use any bag or any type. I mean, you don't have to have angel hair. Remember, this is just a guideline we're giving you. Feel free and comfortable to experiment yourself, okay? And remember, at the end, I'm going to tell you how much all of this cost per person. Okay, so if you can just put some salt in it. Now, there are a lot of ways to make coleslaw. This is not the be-all, end-all. It's not my favorite way. But you should know that we don't have a lot of spices here because they've been packed up. We don't have a lot of ingredients in our home right now. So I think that's advantageous to you because I know a lot of you are not going to have the stash in your home that I would typically have in my home if we weren't moving. So just the slaw, just salt and pepper, or you can do some more of that. I might add celery salt instead of the mineral salt. If I had it available, I might add some thyme. I might add fresh parsley or grated carrot. Sprinkle some Italian seasoning. Thought that might be good. I don't typically do that, but
Italian seasoning.
yeah. All right, and I'm going to ask you to get a spatula and use the rest of this mayonnaise in there.
Okay.
Also, we'll put a drizzle of honey, so we're going to go get that. All right, go ahead and stir that. I'm going to try not to dirty so many spoons. I'm going to put some smoked paprika in here. No, normally I would do other spices. I would do some cayenne, but that's what we have. So use that. Do a drizzle of honey.
Okay.
As you can see, it's versatile. Please don't be afraid to experiment. We've got our corn, our peas, our slaw. Our chicken is going to go in the oven. You're going to do your instant mashed potatoes according to the package directions. There was a time not long ago, probably 10 or so years ago, that I had never cooked with instant mashed potatoes. I was introduced to them when I was part of Boy Scout leadership and we had to cook for all the guys. Well, I'm telling you, my life has changed. Now, these probably aren't the healthiest in the whole wide world, but you have to give yourself some grace. And that's what cooks have to do. So sometimes you have to use instant mashed potatoes, and that's okay. So that's what we're using for this meal. Now, a couple of tips to make it good. You can use richer cream instead of milk. I've added sour cream. I've used a flavored chicken broth. So all those things make it really good. A little bit extra salt, a little bit extra pepper. You can use white pepper. So we're going to make the potatoes according to package directions. So I don't see the point in walking you through that because there's the directions. We're just going to bake the chicken. We've got the slaw, we've got the 3 vegetables, and if you wanted to do just lettuce leaves and sliced tomatoes and an inexpensive dressing or an oil and vinegar, you could do that instead of the slaw. But I just like slaw with barbecue chicken. So, all right, well, we'll come back to you in a little bit.
Okay, we're ready for our second meal, and this is the salad part of that. It's a cottage cheese salad, and we have drained peaches. We use 2 cans. You don't have to if you don't want to. We have our sour cottage cheese, our mayonnaise, and our cheese. We used 2 cans because we've got a lot of people to feed. And so let's make it. We will put peaches on there. You can arrange them or you can just stack them. I'm gonna use only 5 because that's what I'm choosing. You can use more if you want. And we don't always use bowls this big, but all our others are packed up. And cottage cheese. And we'll only do a dollop of mayonnaise. A dollop is just a little bit of mayonnaise. And then we'll just put a little bit of cheese on it. And there's our salad. And then, this is only part of our second part of our video. So let's make the next part.
All right, the main dish in our meal number 2 for this video is going to be something I just now realized does not have a name, but I call it Miss Sandra's pasta. And that's because a sweet lady where we used to live named Miss Sandra Johnson brought this to me, and I thought she brought it to me at a time when we needed a meal at our home, and I thought it was so delicious, and I asked her for the recipe, and I was surprised it was so simple. Take any pasta. Now remember, we're making enough for leftovers for our meal and leftovers. Take 1 pound of any pasta, and tonight I chose the penne pasta for this dish. I've got my water boiling, and you just can cook it according to package directions. If you only have a few people, then of course don't cook the whole thing. All right, I've also got a bag of vegetables. You can use whatever vegetables. Sandra used a pepper blend when she brought it to us. I think it had peppers and broccoli in it. I picked this up. I picked this up on purpose because it's a steamable bag. You can put it in the microwave if you use a microwave. And I thought this would be easy to pick up and show a new cook that it does have broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, and you just steam it in the bag. You don't have, there's no guesswork. Okay, Little Miss Homemaker is gonna put this in our microwave. It says direction side up for 5.5 minutes. Can you do that, please? And while she's doing that, our water's boiling, and I will cook this according to package directions, and we'll show you what we're gonna do with the other ingredients. All right, I have our penne cooking, and I'm just going to kind of cut one with a spoon here to see if it cuts easily, and it does. That's al dente. You can also try to eat one. I'm going to cook it just a little bit longer, but I don't look at the directions. I'm going to drain them in the colander when they're done, and then I'm going to return them to the pot. I'm going to add this vegetable mix that's been microwaved. Now, I meant to tell y'all a minute ago, you could also cook a bag of this, especially if you don't like a microwave, which I'm not a fan of, or if you don't have a microwave. You could put this in with your pasta and cook it at the same time. So that's another option. All right, so I'm gonna finish this cooking up, And after I drain this, actually I'm going to go ahead and just add it together so I can make sure that's cooked completely. All right. Our chicken is smelling good from meal number 1. Now, you might notice, of course, that we're making this video at the same time, so we're making 2 different meals. I want you to know that this one is the one that you can actually put this in the fridge. You can warm it up tomorrow night, and you know, you can warm it up on the stove. What I will do tomorrow night is I will, after this is finished, we'll show you how to finish it in a few minutes. But after it's finished, I will put it in a dish, whatever you choose, whatever you have, oven-proof dish, and I will probably put it in the oven tomorrow night with maybe some cheese on top, and I will put foil over it, and I'll just warm it up. I'll put it on 350 for the standard 30-minute, probably not 30 minutes, probably 15 to 20 if your oven is hot and if your dish did not come straight out of the refrigerator. Another option is, of course, to heat it up in the microwave. If you do that, you could also, you know, have it in your lunch boxes, your lunch dishes to heat up at work or at school. So that's just some options. I wanted you to understand that you could make this the day before. So basically, in the same amount of time, we're making 2 different meals, and we're feeding 5 people at each meal, plus we'll have leftovers. So we're kind of making 4 different dinners, if you look at it that way. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to drain this in the sink. By the way, pasta water is good for a lot of things. You could research and find out what pasta water is good for, but right now we're going to throw it away, I'm afraid. Okay, we have our pasta with our vegetables added. I'm going to add a jar of Alfredo sauce. It can be any brand, whatever you like. It could be homemade, but right now we're trying to make it as easy for you as possible. Okay, I'll take a little milk, because you remember I don't like to waste what's in the jar, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Then I have just a jar of marinara. Now, I do have a tip on this. I do not buy the canned pasta sauce if sugar is one of the first 5 ingredients. To be honest with you, pasta sauce shouldn't even have more than 5 ingredients. So this one does not have sugar in it at all. Okay? So that's just my thing. You can use whatever pasta sauce you wish.
Oh, it looks yummy.
It is. Now this is, if you're familiar with this kind of thing, you might think this is like a rosé sauce, and you'd be right. Kind of maybe similar to a vodka sauce. All right, I'm taking this milk, and I'm going to just rinse these jars out is what I'm doing. And I'm okay that I'm adding extra liquid. That is fine with me. That's actually cream, not milk, honestly. From raw milk. Okay, now there you go. Now I'm gonna put it in here. You can reuse or recycle the jars. This one's actually a plastic, so that's kind of neat, I guess, if you wanted that. Okie doke. Reuse or recycle that. And that's really all there is to it. Now, little Missy, do you want to taste it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mmm. This is also what goes good with our peach salad that I just made. You can also add smoked sausage, chicken, beef, whatever you think goes good with this. But we just eat it like this, and it is so yummy.
All right, so that was our second meal that we just showed you. Wasn't that delicious looking?
It was.
So you've got the the pasta and the salad.
The pasta and the cottage cheese peach salad.
Very good. So now we've got our peas cooking, finishing up rather, and our corn warming up, and our potatoes, instant potatoes cooked according to directions. We've got our water. I did add white pepper. Some people don't like black flakes in their potatoes, so I use white pepper. It's very good. And we've got our salt, healthy salt. Then I've got my 2 cups of raw milk and cream. I do want to make a note, if you're writing this down, please remember on the chicken, I want you after the 30 minutes, this was my experience, so I'm relaying that on to you. I did use the cutlets. Remember, they are thinner, so the cooking time is going to be longer if you have the chicken breasts that are frozen. So I had the frozen cutlets on 375. After 30 minutes, I needed to turn it on another 15, and that time has already elapsed, and I think they need another 5 minutes or so. So just plan that your frozen chicken cutlets might take up to 50 minutes. So just plan on that, but I'm going to trust you to be able to tell when they're done, to cut into them. It's okay if you have to cut into one, to be able to tell. Once you're an experienced cook, you'll be able to eyeball it. That's it. That's our 2 meals, our barbecue chicken and our 3 vegetables and our slaw. So really 4 vegetables.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Our slaw too.
Yeah, big deal. Big meal. And you can serve people, you can have people over, and this is just a great thing you can make. And then our pasta dish, Miss Sarah's pasta dish, and our peach salad. You can have that peach salad for breakfast. You can substitute sliced pineapple, canned or fresh. I grew up in the 70s with that salad. How many of y'all have grown up with that salad? And you're kind of my age and you grew up with that in the 70s. So I'm used to that. I'm used to the canned peaches and the canned pineapple. Or you can use canned pears. My mother used that a lot. So, you can use peaches, pears, or pineapple. I think the majority of folks like the peaches. Well, we're going to finish this up, and then we're going to have Mr. Patient to come in here. He's due home anytime. We're going to have him see what he thinks about our meal for new cooks.
All right, so I got elected to be the taste tester. So we've got 4 vegetables and my mom's barbecue chicken. So I'm going to see how it is. And while I'm eating, you guys can subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell for notifications so that when we put new videos out there, you'll get those new videos. So I'm going to get busy.